Matt from Exhumed. Papers flying around, sorry.
No worries.
So all I want to, first I want to ask, how has the first half of Summer Slaughter gone?
You know, it's a good tour. It's kind of a mixed bag because, like, some of my favorite things about touring don't really apply here because of the timing with everything. Like, you know, we usually party a lot, and when you're on tour, you don't have to be there till like 4 p.m., so the hangover's already over with. Whereas on this tour, you have to be there at like 11:30 or noon, and so I'm waking up hours before.
So do you have any wild and crazy stories to share from the tour so far?
Okay. So show 3 was in Vegas, and you know, like I was with us, like we party a lot, we drink a lot on a daily basis, and we have a time window that's usually good, like 6 to 7 hours for fun, hilarious, but you know, we don't like break stuff, lose stuff, get arrested or whatever. After that time window though, then it gets dicey. And we were in Vegas, we were outside in the parking lot drinking all day with Goatwhore, and our bass player wandered off, as he's wont to do sometimes when he's very intoxicated. And so we're like, okay, no biggie, you know, he'd been around all day, like, it hadn't really been like, everyone had seen him at least within a half hour, so it was like, whatever. And, you know, everybody kind of loaded up, and then everybody started gradually leaving, and then it was like 12:30, and we're like, well, probably would be good if we could go now. We had to drive to Phoenix. We were going to stay with my buddy Ryan from my marathon, so we wanted to drive ASAP so we could get there, take showers, maybe do laundry, you know, grab a quick nap inside in the AC, and then go to the show. Well, by like 4, people were getting pretty testy. So by 5, we called the police. Right, did you arrest anybody by this name? They said no. And we're like, well, that's sort of good because he's not arrested, but sort of bad because we still have no idea where he is. Anyway, finally at 7:40 a.m., 20 minutes before the cutoff time to where we were going to have to cancel the show, Rob wanders down to the van and is like a zombie. And he's like, yeah, spoke up on the roof. It was weird. Yeah, that was weird. He like totally pulled a hangover.
The Hangover movie.
Exactly, that's exactly what it was. And then last night we were in Richmond. Some friends of ours in a hotel room at the Marriott. And it's just great to be able to get away from the venue because these days are so long. Like, that kind of becomes the goal.
Right.
Like, after this, I'm going to go to a barbecue at my friend's house.
That's always nice.
Yeah, the goal is to, like, escape the venue because, like, 10 hours of all this is too much.
Right.
And anyway, so we're at the hotel just drinking a shitload of liquor. We left. Sammy from Goatwhore and I and a couple friends went to a show down the street. Came back, and Zach, the drummer for Goatwhore, was like knocking over the TVs, pouring beer on himself, and he was just a wreck. And our guitar player Bud was like passed out on the bed, and he would just occasionally open his eyes and say something random, like, so, you know what, man, you know what sucks? Fuck metal. You never hear a C7 chord. I mean, that's bullshit. And then he'd just fall asleep for a while longer. Then he'd open his eyes and he'd be like, I got one word. We're all fucking haggard. And then he'd go back to sleep. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway, so, but luckily we were able to find everybody and leave, you know. Usually, like, we have to stop and, like, eat some junk food or whatever before we pass out, so we're not too hungover the next day. But, yeah, I mean, we're always, like I said, in a tour like this, we have way too much time to get in trouble. So
okay.
I'm sure there'll be more hijinks.
Oh, that's great. Sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, you know, we did. I was pretty pissed off at Rob the morning of Vegas, but by the next night, I was fine.
It's funny now. Wasn't so funny then.
Right, but it was funny the next day. You know, I don't hold a grudge. So,
now that Bud Burke is back in the lineup, but playing guitar this time, how's it feel?
It's great. It's like a breath of fresh air. I mean, Bud's an old friend of mine, and he's a great player. He's probably the best guitar player we've had in the band, so it's really comfortable from that aspect, you know. It's been a really easy transition, and you know, we're just really psyched or whatever. And you know, with Wes Earl, guitar player, killer guitar player, great songwriter, but he just wasn't happy on the road, and I can't blame somebody. It's not comfortable.
Right.
It just was getting to the point where nobody was happy. So it just was better, especially doing this tour, because it's long days, hot drives, like, you know, nowhere to sleep, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Which is all, like, legitimate things to complain about, but,
Right.
you know, it's a lot easier when everybody is just...
Right. It's
really
either
give a
in you
fuck.
or it's not in you.
And it's, you know, it's almost like you have to just sort of be able to turn off the, like, I care thing. It's like, nope,
Right.
don't care.
Right.
Don't care. Brushing my teeth in an alley in Chinatown smells like hot garbage. Don't care.
Right.
All right, whatever.
Right.
Like sleeping upstairs during sound check because it's air conditioned.
Right.
And I can be horizontal for 15 minutes. Don't care.
Right.
And, you know, it's just one of those things. Like I said, I don't begrudge anybody that has a hard time on tour. It's just,
Right.
yeah, like you said, either like it or you don't. It's like
Right,
food or
exactly.
whatever.
So it's got to be nice and refreshing to have it back.
No, it's killer. And I've known Bud forever. I mean, I've known him for
Now,
almost 20 years.
Will that help make the writing process easier once you get back to writing?
I'm not sure. I mean, that's one thing that, you know, Wes is a great songwriter. He wrote tons of songs on the last record. And so I think with Bud coming in kind of late in the game, I don't know how much difference it's going to make.
Right.
Because we're going in the studio in, like, the end of September.
Oh, okay.
Kind of up against the deadline right now. I don't know. I hope so, but we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Now, how's it feel to be a death metal band from the early 90s out there going strong and watching the kids that weren't even born absolutely loving your music?
It makes me feel old. Makes me feel like a creep sometimes. You talk to chicks like, oh yeah, I'm 19. And I was like, yeah, oh wait, no, I'm 36. That's not appropriate anymore. Shit. You know, and you meet people and you're like, wow, you could easily be like...
My child.
Right. So, I mean, it's weird, you know, but it's cool. I mean, the whole longevity of the genre has really surprised me, and the fact that, you know, Cannibal Corpse and Autopsy and Morbid Angel or whatever are still around making records, Napalm and all these bands. And
Right.
I think the kids today are really lucky, though, like, because everything's so much more accessible. Like, you can, back in the day, if you wanted to hear something, like, you just bought it, and if it sucked, you're like, well, $10 can't get back or whatever.
Right, exactly.
And nowadays you're like, well, hey, what's this band all about? Cool, internet. You know, even if you don't like steal the music or whatever, which I don't care if people do that, it doesn't bother me at all, but at least you can hear it on Spotify or MySpace or wherever. Like,
right, you can check them out
right.
beforehand.
Totally. So I mean, it's like, I mean, if I was 15, like, I would just stand in my bedroom all day online. Because, I mean, that's one of the reasons I started a band in the first place, is because I wanted to get more demos, and I thought if I had a demo, I could get more demos.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's the best reason to start a band, but I don't know. I mean, it's a trip, and
Right.
it's cool to see that the genre has been able to last this long and maintain people's interest, and also it's cool to see that in a lot of ways it's really progressed. I mean, the musicianship and the production
Right.
and all that stuff. But at the same time, I mean, right now is a great time because, you know, bands like us, who's a lot more sort of primitive than somebody like Obscura or Origin or whatever, you know, we're able to have a good place in the scene, and people are interested in hearing like a new Autopsy record again. And to me, it's refreshing that it's kind of healthy enough to have room for everybody, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because, I mean, I'm not into technical music really at all. I don't hate it. I wouldn't begrudge anybody it, but it's cool that, like, the scene should be healthy enough for tech bands and slam bands and old school bands and lo-fi bands and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's great when it's big enough for everybody and it's healthy. And it's kind of surprising just how durable it's proven, you know?
Right. Especially when you've had things like the PMRC and the religious groups, and
Right.
you know, you've had everything that's happened out there where people are trying to point the finger at heavy metal and death metal and everybody that's out there saying it's your fault that this has happened.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that the opposition aspect of it is like probably one of the main things that's helped it become durable. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody here today feels like they're in opposition to something, whether it's religious, political, personal, whether you're like, fuck you, Dad, or like, fuck you, church, or fuck you, society, or whatever. I mean, everyone comes from a different place and has their own reasons or whatever, but everyone's able to kind of come together and release all that negative energy. I mean, that's what I always thought the whole thing was about. It's like, yeah, you're in the pit, you're shoving people, and you're hitting people or whatever, but you're not like, I'm not hitting you because I hate you.
Right.
I'm hitting you because I have all this energy and it has to go somewhere, and so do you, so we can hit each other, and then at the end we'll get a beer and we'll be friends or whatever, you know, and I think that it actually serves a very important function, you know. It's the same thing with like, you know, whatever, violent movies or, you know, they have all kinds of rituals in different civilizations throughout history that have helped like sort of get this negative energy out in a healthy way, so you don't go into a movie theater and like shoot a bunch of people or whatever.
Hey, I turned 40 this year, and I still like to get in the pit sometimes because I'll be pissed off, and I'm just like, I need to shove someone.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is like there has to be a place where you can go where that's okay.
Exactly.
Because we can't be nice all the time. We all have to put up with stupid shit, whether it's at work or like your fucking wife or your husband or your family or your fucking job or just anything. You know? Like we all have to jump through all these dumbass hoops.
Right.
At the bank, fucking, you know, everywhere you go, it's bullshit. Right.
Philadelphia traffic.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, there has to be, and it's great that death metal is able to provide that, and it's great that it's still viable enough. The cool thing about it is that it never blew up so big to just completely take a shit. Like in the 90s, like thrash metal had gotten just too popular.
Right.
And then you had kind of two groups of people, which were the people that got into it because they wanted the fastest, craziest music, and then you had the people that just got into it because it was the thing.
Right.
And when the grunge came, all those other people left, and then all the thrash bands were like, fuck, I'm used to making like $8,000 a show. What do I do now? Like, fuck. So then they all formed all these shitty 90s bands or whatever that everybody has sort of willfully forgotten or forgiven or whatever.
Right.
And anyway, so it's cool. Death metal, like, just was never popular enough to sort of have that kind of pressure put on it.
Right, exactly.
They tried it in the 90s when Columbia licensed all those great bands, and they thought, oh, the next Metallica is going to be in here somewhere. And it's like, nope. No, it's not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, because the general public will never accept
something without melodic vocals.
Right,
and that's the bottom line, like, no matter what.
There's nothing to sing to like that. It would never get aired, like, get the radio play.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, like, my parents, like, they just don't get it. They're like, I mean, you know, they're supportive of me and, you know, they're stoked I get travel and everything else. But my dad is like, I just don't understand. Like, you guys are really good musicians. You go through all this trouble writing this shit, and then you write these lyrics that are ridiculous, and you just, I was like, why would you do that? And I was like, that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like you're just fucking being a dick. It's like that. I love that, you know? Yeah. It's just like gratuitously brutal for the sake of being brutal. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Now, I know that you've played at Champs in Trenton with Goatwort.
Yes.
So I can't help but wonder if you prefer playing in the large arenas or if you like to play in the smaller venues.
Well, basically, they both have their sort of charms or whatever, their good aspects. My main thing is that if it's a 300 capacity room and there's 220 people, that's a great show. If it's an 800 capacity room and there's 220 people, that's not a good vibe. You know what I mean? Like, if the room is full and we can all be in the experience together, then it's a good show. And, you know, it's cool to have a little bit more stage to run around on in the bigger places. But with the barricades and shit, like on this tour, like, it really sucks because you want to, like, give somebody a high five, or you want to shove your guitar in their face, and you're like, well, I'm going to fall. And, like, that doesn't look cool, or it's just, like, not even possible. So, I mean, we're very much about, like, inviting the audience on stage and kind of removing the wall between the band and the crowd, which is a little bit hard to do in a venue like this. But I mean, it's just kind of take it as it comes, and it's just the way it is. Like in this business or lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. Some days, you know, you're fucking playing a house of blues, eating delicious catering, like sitting in a fucking air-conditioned room with a nice couch, fridge full of free beer. Other days, you're fucking brushing your teeth out of a bottle of water in an alley that smells like hot garbage. And it's just, you know, just take it as it comes, you know?
Right. Now, how's it feel to be sitting here all these years talking about the fact that you're still on the road and you're just as hard-hitting and in your face as you were back then? I mean...
it's kind of surreal, you know? I mean, I don't know, like... I would have thought probably when I was a kid that I would already be like married and have a real job and, you know, probably hang out and have a few beers on the weekend, still playing my Bolt Thrower LPs. Like, oh, I remember when I was a kid. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, it's a little bit strange, you know. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, I've had real jobs and tried a couple different things, and I just realized I'm happier like sleeping in a van with my buddies, getting wasted every night, being on tour and just expressing myself or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was the main thing, just like not writing songs and really having that vehicle that I missed while the band was dormant was just like I need to just keep creating. I kept writing music all the time, like just for no real reason, you know. I was like, well, I don't know, I just can't stop doing this, so I should probably just do something with it, you know.
Since Exhumed has been around for over 20 years, do you feel a need to be like a role model of sorts for the generations coming up?
No, definitely not. I think once you start like thinking about other people, what they're going to think or what they're going to do because of what you're doing, like you're going in and you're getting on a really slippery slope. I mean, to me, it's like I just do it for my own enjoyment. You know, it's like people are like, oh, you know, when you write songs, you think, oh, the crowd's going to like this or that or whatever. It's like I have no fucking idea what the crowd likes. I don't know. I just know what I like, and that's what I'm doing. And I think as soon as you start thinking like, oh, well, this will affect so and so, then I don't know, you're just sort of diluting it. You're kind of doing it for the wrong reasons. Like I said, I just do it for my own enjoyment. And I mean, when the band stopped being enjoyable, I stopped doing it. And it seemed like it would be enjoyable, and it has been. And so I'm going to keep doing it until it's not enjoyable. I mean, I think with any kind of like art or creative endeavor, it has to just be its own thing. And then like once you do it, then people can react to it. Then it's theirs. Like you don't own it anymore. It's like, cool, here's this thing. Fucking do whatever you want. You can like talk shit about it on YouTube, or like you can like invite your friends over and like start a pit in your living room or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I try to consciously avoid any thought down that line at all. It's very like Ayn Rand, like Henry Rourke type philosophy, you know.
What do you think it is that's kept Exhumed going strong over all these years? Do you have a secret to keep it fresh and exciting that you're willing to share?
It's just about like the enjoyment of playing music and you know, the enjoyment of just like I said, expressing yourself. And it's cool to be able to not only provide others with a way to release that negative energy, but it's also for me too, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'd be doing something else if I didn't have that same need, you know? And I write tons of music that's totally mellow and like really calm and, you know, whatever. So I mean, that's for the other times. But when it comes to metal, like, you know, I think the main thing is just to make sure that you enjoy hanging out with the people that you work with, and that you take what you're doing seriously, but don't take yourself seriously, you know? And I don't know, I just try to ignore as much as possible. I mean, I read the reviews of the records and stuff, but I don't ever like let it bother me. You know what I mean? It's like I don't take it personally. It's just like I said, once you do it, you just gotta let it go, and it is what it is. And you know, you gotta listen to your own voice or whatever, and have the ear to actually be able to hear it, and the fucking noise of everyone else, like whether it's your label or your fans or your friends or your girlfriend or your fucking bandmates or whatever. You gotta have a vision to be like, okay, this is what we do, let's do it. And, but at the same time, you don't want to be a control freak, and you don't want to be stubborn about it. So it's hard to kind of maintain that balance.
Right. Now, you mentioned that you're going back into the studio?
Right, yeah, we're getting ready to record in September and October.
Okay. And do we know, like, how far in advance you're looking for that release to come out? Or
it's kind of ironic because this was supposed to be our last tour for the year. And then we're going to go in the studio in November.
Okay.
But I told our agent, I was like, I don't really want to tour anymore for this record because we need to write the new one. And he's like, texted me, he's like, I know you don't want to tour anymore, but I have this offer. And I was like, okay, what is it? It's like, it's Municipal Waste and Napalm Death. I was like, okay, we're doing it. Because like Napalm is probably my all-time favorite, like grind, death, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And for a band like us, it's perfect because I'm sure there's kids that, that are totally in between the buried and me that just think like, these guys are idiots. Like, why are they still playing Slayer beats? But when we go and tour with Municipal Waste,
Municipal
will be like,
Waste,
yeah, okay.
Napalm Death, and Exhumed.
Yeah. And then there's going to be some regional bands as well. I think Repulsion's going to do some California dates, and then there's going to be an opener, so it's going to be an awesome tour.
Are you guys coming to the East Coast with that?
We're starting in Richmond, as far as I know, and we're ending in Tampa, so we should be. So the routing I saw, it goes from October 26th to December 6th. So it's going to be pretty thorough.
I hope there's something around here because there's no way in hell I am missing that show.
And that's, so we kind of pushed up the recording schedule.
Okay.
And now we're kind of in a deadline situation. It's like, well,
right.
I had 4 songs, but that's, oof. All right, so before we started this tour, I had 7 songs written. And, I've been kind of going through, like, a lot of, because we always have stuff that never gets finished or whatever.
Right.
And so I've been going through all of that. It's like the riff warehouse is getting emptied. So, and it's cool because then I keep coming up with more and more stuff as I'm working on new shit. So it's going to be tight. But yeah. So it should be coming out in next May. Because our goal is to get it out before next summer so we can do all the European festivals or whatever. We actually have a semblance of a plan for the first time. So we'll see how that works.
Oh, okay, great.
Something new for us.
Great. We're looking forward to that one. Now, do you have a particular place where you get your inspiration for your music from? Or is it just life? Or
to me, like, my tastes really aren't that different than when I was, like, in high school. In terms of metal, like, I'm still into Repulsion, Autopsy, Deathstrike, Insanity, like, Wehrmacht, DRI, Celtic Frost, like, all the same bands still get me excited. And I just think, like, we've kind of taken those kind of riffs, like the Terrorizer type, like double time punk riffs, and like just sort of quadrupled them and added more chords or whatever. And we just, the band has its sound, and I think it's just, if you just let it be itself, then it kind of, the rest is pretty easy, I try to just take like the conscious part of my mind out of the equation as much as possible and just allow it to happen. Instead of trying to make it happen, I just allow it to happen.
Okay.
Trying to make it happen is for like working on like finger exercises and shit, which is important. But then when it comes time to like writing and shit, you just have to, because you already know what sounds good, or else you shouldn't be in a band.
Right.
Yeah, you should pick up an instrument. So if you just allow that to happen, then it just sort of takes care of itself.
Okay. And then lastly, before we wrap up our interview, is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
I would just say thanks a lot because, I mean, when the band split up in 05, I mean, I know we'd said it was a hiatus, but I had no real intention of, like, doing it again. I was like, I'm over it, fuck it. And, once that happens, it kind of usually goes 2 ways. Like, one way is that the fucking name of the band actually sort of slowly grows and takes on the significance that maybe it didn't have before. And then the other is that it fades, and then there's only like me and my nerdy friends with like patch jackets and like 2,000 LPs that just want to sit around and be like, dude, you remember that fucking 7-inch was so good, whatever happened to that band? And luckily for us, the former sort of happened, and I'm just really thankful that people maintain an interest in the band. It really surprised the shit out of me.
Right.
To me, it was just like my goofy ass band from high school. So it's been really cool that people never stopped asking me and the other guys in the band, like, so what's up with Exhumed? It's like, what, you did a fucking record in like 7 years. What do you mean, what's up with it? There's nothing to be up. Like, really? You should do another record. Like, really? Okay. So finally, we said yes. Hey, baby. So I'm just, like I said, I feel really fortunate and lucky that people are interested enough to, like, allow us to do all this touring. I mean, we could do records and just put them out for fun, but, you know, we've been on the road. We've done, like, almost 200 shows this year, so.
Right.
You know, this streak, you know, July to July.
Right.
Whatever. So, yeah, to be able to do that is fucking phenomenal. It really surpassed anything that I have. So, I'm saying thanks.
All right. Well, thank you very much for doing the interview with me. I appreciate it.